create your reality by what you create in here. And when you really understand that you are literally created in the image and likeness of God, God is creative, God is powerful, God is all-knowing, He's everywhere. When you and God are one, guess what? You're everywhere too. You lack no knowledge. There's been times where I've stood before people and I said things and they're like, Ty, how did you know that? That's because God and I are one, and I know everything that God knows. And when God drops it, it's not like I can read anybody, but when God drops it in that moment, whatever knowledge is out there in the world, I at that very moment have power to that infinite knowledge. I have access to it. So you have to understand that you literally have access to everything God is, everything that God owns. Like right now, when you become one with that and you really become into that awareness of who you are, you can be everywhere at one time too. And what do I mean by that? I can remember a situation I was going through a couple of weeks ago. And I was 1 o'clock in the morning, I was struggling within myself. At the very moment in my bed, I was struggling. It was 1:14 in the morning. I checked Facebook, and some woman I don't even know, she prayed a prayer for me in Facebook and said that God put me, she scrolled past my page, and God put me on her mind. She's someone I don't even know. And she prayed a prayer in that thing that was exactly what I was wrestling with right there in the middle of the night. That means I was there. I was there with her in somewhere in another part of the world. It is because God. You have to be available and open to God. Whatever you feel like your limitations are, I want you to look at it differently. Maybe it's not necessary. What do I need to do to cultivate, to heal, to strengthen that weak area? So that you can really fully allow God to work in you, through you, and as you. That is the only way that one, you're going to become the woman or the man that you know you were born to be, have a life that you know you were born to have, and really expand the kingdom. Everything that you need is within you. You lack nothing. God is not just this God above you high in the sky. Many of us, we really still sort of believe that. And as long as you have that type of thinking, you will always struggle. Because you have made your power external. You have to embody that power. And I'm going to say this and then I'm going to open it up for Q&A. Because I think I've really sort of already touched on these points. But let me recap my points. I've touched on them. Then I'm going to say one last thing. 3 steps. So that I want to give you something practical. When you're feeling insecure, when you're feeling hurt, whatever that way that you're feeling, the first thing I want you to do is notice. Notice what you're feeling. Become aware of what you're feeling. Don't judge what you're feeling. Just sit with what you're feeling. Right? And so if you're around certain people, maybe somebody said something that made you feel a certain way. Well, why when they said that, why did it make me feel that way? Why when she walked in the room, I immediately had attitude? Like literally sit with that feeling. Like, why did I get attitude when she walked in the room? Or it could be something like, why when I was walking through that community, driving through the community, why did I feel bad? Could it be that you feel like you'll never live in that community? Could it be that you're concerned about your finances? Like, I can't afford to be in this community? This is just an example. I want you all to just pay attention to your feelings. And that's the second thing, is the question. Question why you feel the way you feel. Question why you feel the way you feel. And whatever comes up from that, whatever answer comes up, then I want you to replace. So whatever the answer came up, for instance, when she walked in the room, I got attitude. Why did you get attitude, Ty? Because I felt jealous. You asked the question, well, why did you feel jealous? Because I'm insecure. Well, why do you feel insecure? Because I don't have the clothes she got on. Well, why don't you have the clothes she have on? Because I can't afford it. Well, are you doing what's necessary to be able to afford the clothes that she got on? Do you see how you keep asking that question, you get down to that root cause? So then you can say, what do I need to believe in order to shift the story that I'm telling myself. That story is that I have this belief that I'm jealous. I have a belief that I'm insecure. I have a belief that I need those type of clothes to feel valuable. So what do I need to believe to change that? I could just choose to believe that I am valuable no matter what I wear. And so another way you can say is, what do I need to improve? So what actions do I need to take? That's 3, replace. What actions do I need to take? And so number 3, that replace. You replace a belief, and then the next question, once you figure out what that belief is under there, what actions do I need to take? So what behavior do I need to take to back that belief up? Because every belief has to be transformed by behavior. If what you believe is not backed up by behavior, then that's really not belief. Okay, so I'm gonna say this, and then we'll open up. I'm gonna ask you if you have anything to say, and then we can open up the Q&A for anybody that have any questions. Here's what I realized about a lot of Christians, myself included. I did not have a problem with trusting God. I've seen God work in my life. I know what God is capable of. I got a resume with God. I can go check my resume. You can't tell me who God is not, because I'm going to tell you who God is. Mm-hmm. But here's the issue. And until we deal with this, we will continue to really inhibit our own lives and inhibit the power of God and the way that people experience God, right? We have to learn to trust ourselves on the same level that we trust God.
Thank you.
Trust yourself on the same level that you trust God. We'll say, I believe God is able. Then guess what? When you're facing something, I believe Amos is able. Trust yourself on the same level you trust God. Because God cannot work in the earth unless he have a dirt body. And if you have a problem trusting yourself, you're not going to even, although you might believe God is able, you're not going to put yourself in a position to be seen. You're not going to put yourself out front. You're not going to boldly proclaim the word of God. You're not going to, ruffle any feathers because you're afraid of what might happen to you. So you have to understand. You have to trust yourself on the same level you trust God. You say God is able? Put your name in there. Valerie is able. Quite literally, you got to shrink that gap between how you see God and how you see yourself. And until that gap is so narrow, the narrower that gap gets, the more powerful you become. The narrower that gap becomes between how you see yourself and how you see God, the more powerful you become. Because you're going to have more confidence to actually do the things that you desire in your heart. You want to open a business? Well, you keep praying that God give you the resource to open a business. And God is just saying, you already have everything within you. Mm-hmm. It's already done. So what can you do with what you have now to cultivate the gift that's already within you so that you can prepare yourself, so that you can gain wealth, so that you can do the business on the level that you want to? That makes sense? Yeah. You literally lack nothing to accomplish the purpose that God has for your life. Everything you need is already within you, just like a seed. Inside of a seed is a forest. Inside of you is the whole ecosystem to support everything that you believe God promised you. But it's up to you to cultivate it. God will oftentimes give you the raw material. You say you want the house, he'll give you a forest of trees. It's going to be up to you to learn how to cut them down, learn how to peel the bark off, how to cut them into equal pieces, and then you got to learn how to enroll other people. Now you got to communicate with other people. So how can I get you to help me cut this? How can I get you to help me build this? All along the way, you're being cultivated into a leader. You're becoming stronger. Do you all see this? Your capacity is increasing. And with capacity increasing, confidence increase. When confidence increases, you're willing to take more territory. The more territory you take, the more territory God takes. So that I'm going to end right there. Any questions? I know this has been long.